Welcome to the Wolverine Confidential Podcast. I'm Andrew Kahn.
I'm Ryan Zook.
I'm Aaron McMahon.
We're talking football. We're talking football.
We're talking footy football.
Ryan, you were there for the game between Manchester United and Liverpool.
It's actually Ohio State home football.
Yeah, well, so I live pretty close to the big house. I was walking my dogs before the game and just saw this sea of red was coming down the street. So both teams were red. This is what I concluded.
Ironically, neither team wore the red jersey though during the game. So it was like
interesting.
The whole crowd was filled with red. And then Manchester United wore blue, and then Manchester. Yes, they did. Liverpool wore gray.
Okay. I guess just tell us about the game, covering it, and what happened. What were the key?
It was different. Seeing a soccer pitch on the field instead of the yard lines and the big block end was a little bit different. No streaming fans for third down and long for a visiting team. It was just a different atmosphere. There was some chants for the Liverpool and Manchester United chants that I couldn't really make out from the press box, but it was pretty lively. It just had a different feel to it than a traditional Michigan football game, though. But it was pretty. The second half was pretty exciting. We had a fan run out on the field, lasted about 25 seconds before being tackled by police. Which at first I was like, everyone was just letting him run. I'm like, is anyone going to try and stop this guy? Is
this allowed?
And then sure enough, cops slowly started just containing him, and then one guy. Great tackle, great form, took him down.
So you did get your Michigan football.
Yes, I did. Yes,
the tackle.
Yeah. There was a pretty cool bicycle kick goal.
I saw some photos from that.
Yeah, that was about it for excitement, actually. For me, it was cool. It's just, I don't know. It's an exhibition match, so like both teams didn't bring their top players. Liverpool brought a few more better players than Manchester United, and apparently. The Manchester United coach isn't a big fan of this preseason tournament, the International Champions Cup, which was ironically founded by Stephen Ross, a former Michigan guy.
You wrote about this.
Yes.
This is a thing. This was not new to this game particularly. This is what happens in these teams. They don't always bring their best players, but it sounds like the fact that it was the World Cup.
The World Cup, probably had a little bit more of a factor to it. The teams, like both teams, have a bunch of English players on their teams, and they couldn't bring them to this because they deserve time off and get the time off because they made it to the final or semifinal. That just right there, each team's missing 3 or 4 of their top players, and yes, it is an exhibition match, but these are the 2 biggest rivals, and it sounded like the Manchester United coach was pretty salty after the game. He was asked just what did you think about the atmosphere, and he thought, let me pull up the quote here. I think that's not the one we wanted.
I'm going to say this. I saw a quote. If I was a fan and purchased a ticket for that game, I'd be kind of offended.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd buy a ticket the other game.
It's right. The atmosphere was good, but if I was the fans, I wouldn't come. I wouldn't spend my money to see these teams. For example, I was watching Chelsea versus Inter Milan today in France, and people decided the beach was better than going to the game. The stadium was empty. And he went on to talk about like the passion for the Americans have for soccer deserves more, and he wishes these teams would come to America and bring their full squads, but that's never going to be able to happen with the way this tournament's set up. And Liverpool did bring more of their top players than Manchester United, and it showed on the field too.
There's still pro players for those teams, those big time teams. It's like it's like going to a Sunday afternoon baseball game in July when the teams are throwing out their backups.
Right.
I don't know. I get what he's saying, though. If you're not seeing the true top talent for those teams, but tickets are cheap.
No, like that's what I said in my story. Like the cheapest ticket $60, and parking was $50 most places, up to $60, $70. So, and then $5 bottles of water and whatnot. That adds up to see. Maybe if your top player's on Manchester United and you don't get to see them, maybe you're upset about that. I don't know.
So you could see how person paid for this game and feel like to run out to the field during the game. I'm not getting the full money's worth unless I actually participate.
But a lot of these people aren't from, they're probably coming from other places to see the stadium too. And That's not too many people get to go to the biggest stadium in America all the time. So that's, I think, a big draw for some of these fans that haven't been to a stadium that big before.
How many were in? What was it?
It was 101,000.
Okay.
So which is, it looked like it was. There was a lot of empty seats.
I'll say this: I was talking to you guys earlier about this, but I know a couple of ushers that work football games and work for Michigan, and they were working these events, and they were all giving free tickets to this thing. So I don't know what ticket sales look like. Obviously, 100,000 is very impressive. Don't get me wrong, but it sounds like they were, they wanted to probably eclipse 100,000. I would be surprised if a lot of those were not a lot. But a good portion was.
Yeah, I know at the press conference when they first announced this game a few months ago, I mean, there was talk about, will they break the record? Will they break the record? And then you got a sense pretty quick that they weren't even going to come close to it. I mean, I asked several times, hey, can we get an update how many tickets have been sold? And they said, we're not going to talk about ticket sales until after the game. And then even like 30 minutes before the game, the place was pretty empty. And it filled up pretty good, but I mean, you could tell that it wasn't even near close to the record. It fell 8,000 short of the U.S. soccer attendance record, which Real Madrid and Manchester United said 2014 at the Big House.
Yeah, I mean, I've learned, to Aaron's point, if Michigan, if they want to hit a number of attendance, they hit it. Like, even these football games, like the Michigan United night games, where the place legitimately is packed. I learned they count every, like, they count the players and staff that's on the sideline. They count, yes, ushers, people like in the concourse area, and then in some cases just for tickets that aren't even necessarily fulfilled. If they were sold or distributed. I mean, if they weren't necessarily, and
we got,
which is fine. I think every kind of school does.
We got quite a few reminders that there was from the ICC that, there was plenty of good tickets still available if you want to do a story on that. So I kind of knew going in that they were struggling to maybe sell tickets a little bit. Sure. But I mean, it's the third game there in the last since 2014. So I mean, I wonder if that will appeal. Novelty.
Yeah. I know Ward Manuel, Michigan Athletic Director, has expressed interest in continuing this every year. We spoke to him at the board of trustees meeting last month. He said they want to keep it coming back. He said one of the reasons they didn't have it last year because of traffic on, I think it was State or Maine. He felt like that would have been too congested for traffic purposes. But it sounds like they want to keep this going. So
and then the CEO of Relevant Sports, who puts on this tournament, he's also a Michigan alum, and I spoke with him before the match, and he's like, "Yeah, we plan on coming to Ann Arbor as much as we can. So as long as me and Stephen Ross are running the show, they love that Michigan connection. So we'll see. Another thing, I was surprised how much English media there was there. I mean, for the availability, all the questions were surrounded. How are you going to sign these players? And all about like the English Premier League season. I'm like, I just care about like what they think of Michigan and stuff and whatnot too.
I always think of those people in the recruits of the European teams, so the Boston Red Sox or whatever NFL team, the New England Patriots, wherever they go, in the flock of media, everyone's going to care. It's a traveling circuit. It
was tough for us because they really kept everything in close. Like on Friday before, Liverpool was the only team that held pre-match availability. I don't think Manchester United either got in late Friday night or early Saturday morning. So we got a news release saying, players and coaches will be available for a press conference, and then you'll get 15 minutes to watch practice afterwards. I'm like, all right, that'll be pretty good. But then only coach was available before, and then we were able to stay for the whole entire practice. But that was an hour and a half until players were made available, and we got each player for like 3 minutes, and barely was able to get any questions because all the English media were peppering on away. So, but.
High school football, the hockey, softball, girls basketball, now soccer. You're truly our X factor here at M Live. We can move to football. Green Walker.
Yeah.
It's no longer with the program. It's
the worst kept secret in the football program. It's been going around here for about a month or two now. I had a feeling this was happening when we spoke to Jim Harbaugh in May at the Grand Valley State University camp. He made reference to 2 scholarship players no longer being on the roster. There have been chirpings about Kareem not being on the team or deciding to leave. He just couldn't get confirmation. Michigan wouldn't do it. Kareem wouldn't talk. Harbaugh wouldn't give a name. So at that point, what can you do? It came out Friday night at the Kansas Jayhawk Community College Conference Media Day event in Kansas.
You attended.
I found the video. The head coach at Fort Scott Community College, a guy by the name of Cale Pick, former wide receiver at the University of Kansas. Former football player. He's the head coach in his second season. He ran down the list of transfers he has on the team. Mentioned there's several, 4 or 5 from Division I schools. Kareem Walker was one of them. He mentioned Kareem by name. He said he just signed him today, being Friday. He said we're very excited about that. That's all he said. I reached out to Kareem for comment. He hasn't got back to me. Michigan won't comment at this point. But it sounds like Kareem Walker is leading the football program after 2 seasons. He's a highly touted guy coming out of high school. He was at one point the #1 ranked running back in the 2016 class. He's a 5-star kid. A lot of talent, a lot of potential there. He came in his first season, in his freshman season, 16, ended up redshirting. He had academic issues. We spoke about him at the end of the Orange Bowl, pretty openly about it. He struggled, midway through the season. He couldn't get his grades in order. Michigan decided to redshirt him. He got a little bit of opportunity last year. Played 5 games. Rushed for 68 yards and a touchdown. He had a touchdown run against Rutgers. Didn't get in there much, though. It was mainly the Con Higdon and Chris Evans show. Obviously, they had Ty Isaac, those guys on the roster. But Kareem was ever able to break through. And I don't know how much of that was grade. The coaching staff didn't really talk about it much. There was another signal we got, too, going back, after spring practice ended. There were several times where Jim Harbaugh and the coaches would run down the depth chart, run back, and Kareem Walker was. So there were a lot of hints there. Nothing was made official, and we found out what up.
Yeah, he seemed like a talented guy, like you said, and when we saw him in action, he always broke some tackles, had a good run here or there, but he never really cracked that too deep. I mean, I'm not sure there's a game he played at Michigan where maybe it was third string, unless there was.
But I mean, this year without Ty Isaac, you have the Higdon and Evans show still, but who's there on that depth chart? Michigan likes to use multiple backs. I mean, it seems like there might be an opportunity for him there, but it's also you don't really know what's going on behind the scenes too. Right?
Sometimes it's just not a good fit. So he's a real JUCO route. He can go right away. He'll likely play well and move on to probably some other program. Interestingly enough, he actually joined another former Michigan recruit. Came in with him in the same 2016 class. Amir Mitchell, wide receiver, also from New Jersey. Amir ended up suspended his freshman season in Michigan and left for Rutgers. He was dismissed at Rutgers last fall, so he's joining Kareem there at Fort Scott Community College there in Kansas next year. So you got kind of a unique.
Early favorite to win the
the Kansas Jayhawk Community College Conference. Yeah. So they went 4-6 last year, so I'd like to think of better season this year. But yeah, Kareem Walker's moving on. Like I said, not a total surprise. Jim Harbaugh has identified at this point True Wilson, who was a walk-on 2 years ago, is the number 3 back with that chart at this point. But they've got several other guys waiting in the wings as well there. So including Berkeley Edwards, who Jim Harbaugh confirmed that Big Ten Media Day is transferred from Central Michigan.
Gotcha. And with that, you can also kind of start to truly turn, I guess, another page towards 2018 with the start of camp this week.
Friday afternoon, I believe they kick things off. I don't know if we can speak to them then. We haven't gotten scheduled yet. I assume sometime in the next week or so we'll hear from Harbaugh and the coaches and everything else. But yeah, this begins the slow grind and whatever you call it to the regular season. We're kind of getting to that point now. There's several things we're looking at right now, but obviously the quarterback situation is the most interesting. And it seems to think Shea Patterson's going to be the guy. I think he will be, but you've got several other guys that are waiting for wings as well. Just kind of lead out the depth chart and figure that out. You've got the offensive line, several questions there. It sounds like the tackle position, we talked about this last week, 2 weeks ago. It sounds like the tackle positions are a little bit more concrete. But then you've got a competition, it sounds like a right guard as well. So that it's going to be interesting. The defense is relatively set. You do have an open job at linebacker. I'm curious to see where Casey Hughes, the grad transfer from Utah, fits in. Played quarterback last year for Utah. But it sounds like that they're going to play more safety. But again, they haven't seen the practice either yet. He just transferred in. So there'll be a lot of things kind of determining fall camp. It's going to be interesting to watch, especially on the opposite side of the ball. And I keep telling people this, but we haven't seen this offense at all this year. So it's like you like to think they're going to make a leap, and they got more experienced guys back, and I think they'll have better quarterback play. At least Jim Harbaugh thinks it's going to be big. But until you see it on the field, you don't know.
All right, we'll start to get some answers. Especially a position like quarterback, only one guy can be on the field at once. There's going to be those questions of, okay, so who took the first snap? I mean, I'm sure Harbaugh will do his best to sort of debate and say they all played and they all got reps, but someone's got to be out there first. And we didn't have that spring game to see that. They didn't suit up and play on this in their overseas trip this year. They'll finally start to get some of those answers, I guess. In hockey, the football guy left, but a hockey player is back.
Quinn Hughes is coming back for a sophomore season, which is a huge news for the Michigan hockey program. 7th overall pick this year in the NHL draft out of Vancouver Canucks, and I think it's a little bit surprising. I mean, he has the skill set to play in the NHL right now. It's he's still only 18 though. Will be 19 when the season starts, and I think the thought is he could get bigger and stronger before he really takes that next step, and this gives him the opportunity to do so. Be one of the best players in college hockey, possibly be a favorite to win the Hobie Baker Award. Michigan will now likely be a preseason top 5 team, especially with him coming back. The Wolverines have a solid team returning. Hughes will be paired with his defensive partner from last year, Joseph Zacconi, Dallas Stars draft pick, who they were really dynamite, 1-2 our top 10 last year and should be back again. But with that said, I mean, he could also go, even if he's not NHL ready, he could go to the AHL, American Hockey League, and play against some bigger, faster, stronger guys there without all the pressure of playing the NHL too. So that was one possible route that I thought might interest him if the Canucks weren't able to promise him a spot on the big roster. But when it's all said and done, it does kind of make sense. I mean, the Canucks aren't going to be competing for any type of playoff spot this year. Will be a lottery pick team. So might as well have him stay at college one more year, continue to gain confidence, and I'm sure everyone, Michigan fans and the Michigan hockey coaching staff are pretty thrilled to have him back. He might be the top player in college hockey this season.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and he mentioned something that I saw, about sort of, getting so close, getting to the Frozen Four and not winning it. It's like, okay, come back.
And that's what he said was the biggest reason for him coming back was that that Frozen Four loss to Notre Dame last year when they lost with like 6 seconds left, and your season ends just like that on seemingly like a harmless play at the end of the game. And they do have a strong team coming back, so he's there to try and win the national championship. He's close with his teammates, and he said that's the main reason why he's coming back. And Mel Pearson's a good coach too. I mean, he's dealt with talented players before and can help players take that next step. So I think when it's all said and done, it doesn't hurt to come back and play another year at Michigan.
Sure. The official preseason football polls aren't out yet, are they? But Michigan would be expected probably in the top.
Probably top 10.
Top 10, top 15. Yeah. Michigan. I mean, basketball I would think would be ranked, but probably not top 10, but maybe top 15. We could have all the big three, if you will, here at Michigan all preseason at least. Probably a few years since that's happened.
Yeah, Michigan always have the top 25 with their predictions just by nature. But yeah, I would think most preseason magazines and ESPN the prognosticators. Most polls I've seen right now from the prognosticators have.
All right. Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Wolverine Confidential Podcast, taping from the live studio audience here in Ann Arbor. See you next time.